I think it's safe to say that to become a good editor, you've got to definitely know the program you're using, and you've got to know as many tools and shortcuts as you can. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you the toolbar on Premiere Pro. I'm going to be going through each individual one and showing you exactly what they do. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this channel, where in today's video we are going to go through every single tool in Premiere Pro that's on the little sidebar. I know a lot of editors who will know certain tools, the ones that they like to use, but they don't know all the tools because they don't need to necessarily use them. However, if they know what they do, then obviously it can help you shorten the amount of time that it takes to edit, and it will just make editing a lot easier. So I'm going to go through each individual tool on Premiere Pro, so then you know exactly what each individual tool does. And I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I assume it's going to be fairly lengthy because I'm going to be going through each individual one, trying to explain exactly what they do. So I'm going to put a timestamp down in the description below. If you want to go ahead, check that out, and then you can go look at the timestamp, go straight to the tool that you want to find out, then you're done. Rather than sitting through the entire video just to find out one or two tools what they do, if you might already know what some of them do. But anyway, we're going to go straight into Premiere Pro right here. We're on the screen. First one we're going to quickly cover is this first little tool, which is the selection tool, or the shortcut for it is V on the keyboard. Now the selection tool is really good. It's basically what you use for like anything in terms of like just to select, to drag a clip, and you can move it up or you can move it back down. It's a pretty simple tool, but it's basically what you use to move clips in or out of position. And also it cuts, so if you come over to like the end of a clip, whether it's the in or out point of a clip, then you can click and then you can drag it, and as you can see right there, it's like the red arrow. You can drag it to wherever you want, and then you can shorten that clip, and you've made it shorter. You've cut it to where you want it to go. So if you come to this part and you want it to cut just there, you click, you drag, it's cut. That's simple. That's basically what the selection tool does in a nutshell. And it also can extend the clip as well back to where it originally came from, but obviously I can't extend it any further than the end of the clip because there's nothing to extend. So that's basically the selection tool right there. Pretty simple. I think most people who do edit on a daily basis already know this tool, so I don't want to go too much into this one. The next one is going to be the track select forward tool, which is A on the keyboard. Now when you select this one, you've got two black arrows, and if we zoom out a little bit, we'll use the slider for now. We zoom out a little bit. These arrows are very useful. What they do is you can select any point in your timeline, and as you can see, it will highlight everything that goes behind it. So you select it and then you can drag it, simple. Or you can select that, drag it, simple. And then I've just put them up there, but let's bring them back down. And you can also bring it back there, and you can bring those back to wherever you want. But say if you want to select the other way, you can press Shift A on the keyboard, or you can come over to the track select backwards tool, which is just there on the keyboard. In my particular Premiere Pro, it's in the same box, I just have to go down one. But in more recent versions of Premiere Pro, they have collapsed them down in on each other just to save a bit of space. But we have the track selection tool, which goes the other way, and then all of a sudden you can click that, you can drag that way, or you can drag it that way, there, etc. It does the same thing basically, but the other direction. And like I said, on the keyboard, that will be Shift A. Or if you want to go back to the other one, you just press A, and you can see the arrows change direction on the keyboard. That is the track selection tool. Next tool we're going to do is going to be B on the keyboard, or if we come over to the little side panel, it's called the Ripple Edit tool. And if we come over here, we have three tools, but we first of all talk about the Ripple Edit tool. Like I said, it's B on the keyboard, and you get this like little symbol right here with like the red line going through it. We'll zoom in a bit on a clip and we'll show exactly what this one does. So for a second, if we go to press V, which will bring us back our original mouse, and if we use the little red tool that we just showed you a second ago to shorten the clip down to there, and then all of a sudden you've got this gap, then you can bring the clip closer in, and then there you go, you've got the clip right there. But then you've got this space, and then you have to bring everything forward, or you could use the A tool, which I just said, which will bring everything closer together. Rather than going through all of that sort of process, you can do all of that in one step. Let me just come back. You can do all of that in one step. If you press B, go into this Ripple Edit tool, and then you've got the same arrow, but this time it's yellow. The yellow arrow means that it's the Ripple Edit tool, and we'll come over to say the middle, where I'm about to hit this pull ball, and we can drag it. And what it's done is it has cut it, and then it's collapsed it in on itself without us having to drag it. So all in one process is cut and dragged it, and then obviously there we go, I hit the ball. So all in one process is cut the clip and dragged it into where we need to, rather than us having to manually cut it then drag it. Now right here as an example, I have this clip, and if we go through it, if we want to try and find the right point that we want to get, so right there I hit the balls into the pocket. But let's go back a bit. If we want to start it just there, so we want to start the clip just as we hit the ball. Then again, we can drag it over, but if you want to be a bit more precise with it, use this tool, go down here and press this direction with the little brackets and it will be yellow. If you want to press this direction, it will face that direction to the left, but we want it in this situation to face to the right. We'll bring our line over to the yellow point right there, which is where the cut is. What you can do is press Control and arrow key right, and it will do it one frame at a time, so you can get that perfect point in which you want it to start or end your clip. Or you can go back left by pressing Control and arrow key left, and as you can see there, and you can hold it down as well to get you nearer to if you want to do it a bit quicker, but in this situation we'll just hold it there for now. Another thing you can do with the similar situation is if you press Control Shift and arrow key, that won't do one frame, it will do 5 frames at a time. So again, if you're wanting a quick edit, it will just do 5 frames at a time, so you can find that desired look. And if you want to go 1 frame back, you let go of Shift, and then you can go 1 frame in between rather than 5. So for the next tool on our list is going to be N on the keyboard, or in this situation we're going to come over here and we're going to select the rolling edit tool. Now the rolling edit tool looks like this as your cursor, and if we come in again a little bit to roughly there, and we'll scroll to a point of where we have to cut. So at the moment what we have is what looks like that, so there's no particular cut, but if we say for instance that it just cuts to where the black ball is right there, whereas previously the black ball was not there, and the angle changes ever so slightly. But say you wanted to change it for any reason, so you wanted this clip to come like that way a bit, and you want this clip to come out a bit like that, and then you got it looking like that for instance. But rather than doing that particular motion where you bring one clip over, then you get this clip and bring that one over, you can use this tool, which is N on the keyboard. Like I said, you go over to the black line and you can click and you can roll it that way or that way, and what it does, it changes the end point being the point at which a clip starts, and it changes the out point of the other clip, the out point being where the clip ends. Now when you use this tool you can click, and then when you drag you will actually see both screens on your window at the moment. So what you're seeing on the left hand side is the clip to the left, and what you're seeing on the right hand side is the clip to the right, and then you can change it to wherever you want it to. So as you can see there on the left, it changes, it looks at my friend, and as you can see on the right, the white ball hits the black ball. So I want it to start just there, and what you've got is that random clip, then it cuts to that, hits the balls in pocket. Now again with this tool, what you can do is come to an edit and click, then you have 2 red lines. When you zoom in a bit, what you can do with this tool, similar to the previous tool we looked at, you can press Control and arrow key right or arrow key left, and you can press Control Shift, arrow key right and arrow key left for 1 frame or 5 frames, depending on which one you need to do. But to keep it simply, this tool just changes the in and out point of the adjacent clip. Our next tool is going to be called the Rate Stretch tool, and if we come over here we're going to select the Rate Stretch tool, or it's R on the keyboard for the shortcut, and you get this little tool here. Now this basically is a tool to speed up or slow down your footage. Now there are ways that you can do this where you can right click, go to speed and duration, and when you get this little window you can change the speed to 200, 400, 500, whatever, 100 being the normal speed, and then you can go down to 50 or 20, whatever. You can change the speed that way, and then obviously you can do reverse speed and everything else there, but we'll come out of that for now. If you wanted to do it really quickly without having to right click and go into there, what we're going to do is we're going to find a point in the clip that we want to get. So I want to get this going over the water there, which is actually the border of Germany to Austria. So if we come to out there, we're going to cut the clip, get rid of it, we're going to come there. So what we're going to do is use our V tool for the mouse. For now, we're going to drag it into where we need it. Then we're going to go over to where we want to cut it. We'll say we'll get a bit of the logs afterwards as well, and then we will cut it just there as well. So now we have this clip right here. At normal motion, it goes at that speed. Fairly slow, it's on a train at the moment, and it's just looking out the window. Now what you could do when you press R on the keyboard, you can get the Rate Stretch tool and you can bring it in, and as it says there, the duration changes. So let's bring it to there for instance, and it starts at the same point. So if we come back for a second, this is our starting point, so you've got like the trees and stuff. So let's go to like over there again where it was, we'll bring it in, and it starts in the same location, play it, it's going faster than what it was previously. It goes a lot faster over the water, and then we could probably bring it in on the other side, and just makes it even more faster. So it's speeding up the footage by doing that. And you could do the exact same. So as you can see there, when you got the footage there, it does say next to the name 199% sped up. You could do it the other way around as well. So if we come out a bit and we make this to a long clip again, I'll bring it up. We'll bring that audio clip down as well. We'll press R. We can then bring it out to there. We'll press play, and as you can see, the video has been slowed down. Now, this tool really is just to make it easier for you to speed up your footage or slow down the footage. That's basically all there is to the rate stretch tool. There's nothing else that I know of that this tool can do. Next up, we have the razor tool, which is C on the keyboard. Now, this is actually a very popular tool. I think most people who use Premiere Pro will know about this tool because it is how you cut clips. So you come anywhere in your clip. So we're going to use the same clip we just did a minute ago. We go over the water. It's a nice shot in my opinion. We go to this point here, we use this tool, and we simply press click right there, and it makes it into two different clips. We click over there again and again and again. You can cut as many times as you like, and all of a sudden we've made all these different clips just there. And then again, you come over to the point of where you want it to end. So say we want it to end there, you press the cut button again, then you can press V to then select, and then delete, and then all of a sudden you've got your little clip just there. That's all there is to this tool. However, there are different ways you can cut as well. So maybe you don't want to press C, then find a point, then cut. Instead, what you can do, so if we come to the same point again, to roughly there, where we see the amount of snow, you can press Control K on your keyboard and it will cut. Just like there, Control K again, as an example, you can see where it cuts. Now if we go back, made into one clip again, and let's use these as an example at the pool table. So if I want to cut multiple clips, so I'm going to bring these up on top of each other. They have no particular meaning right now, but as an example, we have 3 clips up on top of each other right here, and I want to cut all of them. But as it stands, when you press C on the keyboard to bring up your razor tool, then you have to cut that one and that one, then that one. The audio cuts with it at the moment because the audio is linked with it. However, if for any reason the audio is unlinked, so we unlink the audio and then you wanted to cut them, you would have to cut every single one individually. And that's, I mean, it's easy to do, but it is long-winded. So we'll go back and then connect those. A much easier way is if you have these clips on top of each other, when you have the razor tool selected, you can press shift and it will bring up these 2 razors on top of each other. Then you can go to where you want to cut it, press cut, and it will cut all the way down. If we go back, go to any point again. Another way to do this, if you don't even want to press C to go to that, and if you have your selection tool out, which is what I have most of the time, you can press Control, Shift, and K, and it will do the exact same thing. Because Control and K is cut, and the Shift is going to make it cut all the way down through every single layer. So that's some cool little shortcuts for you right there to be able to cut multiple tracks. I know that not a lot of people that I know of anyway actually know how to do this. It's a cool keyboard shortcut, and that's what I like about Premiere and all these other Adobe products is keyboard shortcuts. They're so amazing to use once you get to know them. They're so easy to use. Anyway, straight into our next tool, we are going to be using the slip. So Y on our keyboard, or if we come over here, we can go to the slip tool. It looks like this. We're going to zoom in on these clips down here as an example. Well, we'll do these clips. So let's go to this pool clip again. So I'm going to try and explain this as simply as I can. What you have right now is your clip in the middle we've got selected, and you have the clip on the left and the clip on the right. All of them have an in point and an out point, the in point being the beginning, the out point being at the end of the clip. So with this tool, when you select a clip and you bring it any direction, you'll then get up on screen these 4 screens right here. So in the top left hand corner is the out point of the clip on the left hand side. Up in the top right hand corner is the in point on the clip on the right hand side. In the bottom left is the in point of the clip we got selected, and on the right is the end of the clip or the out point of the clip that we have selected. So as you can see, the screens on the bottom, which are the bigger screens, are changing. So as you can see, my friend is handing me the pull cue and I get it. So say if I want to, as I bring in I grab the pull cue, and then the out point on the right hand side, as you can see that yellow ball moving. So as an example, let's get it as the ball gets right there, and then it will change the in point. So as it showed on the screen just there, on the left hand side, my friend's just putting the pull cue on the table. On the right hand side, the balls are just in that arrangement. So we'll leave it there, and then my friend comes over and he hands me the cue. So that's where the clip then begins. and then this is where the clip ends, just like I said on the screen. If we were to bring it over there, for example, the in point is then there, and then the out point is just that shot there. This does not affect the clip to the left or the clip to the right of this clip. It only affects the clip that you're moving. And this tool isn't one that I use that often, but it can come in handy depending on how you've cut your clips and how you've arranged them together. And you can use it as well just to see like if you think the in point and out point just goes together well. Next, we're going to go to the slide tool, which is U on the keyboard. This sort of does the opposite of the slip tool. So like I said, you've got the clip in the middle, the clip on the left, and the clip on the right. Rather than changing the one in the middle, when you select this clip is going to be unedited. This one will just stay as it is. But as you can see, similar to the roll tool, you can see that it's changing. What it does, as you can see up in the screen as well, is it's going to change the in point and out point of the clips on the left and right, while keeping the clip in the middle completely intact and unedited. You have the two small screens at the top. That's the clip that we got selected, which is the in and out point, so they're not going to change. Then you've got the two clips at the bottom. The one on the left is for the clip on the left, the one on the right is for the in point for the clip on the right. So again, you can see the footage moving, and you just take it to wherever you want. So we'll take it to there, and then all of a sudden, this clip has been changed as well as this clip, but not this clip. This clip has stayed intact, whereas previously this clip was being edited and these ones stayed intact. Now these ones are being edited and this one's staying intact. Next up, we have the pen tool, or P on your keyboard. Now what this does is it basically can edit your keyframes. Keyframes being the beginning and an end of an animation or an edit. So what we can do is come down to look at this clip right here, which is in Salzburg. And if your clip looks similar to mine, what you can do is press Ctrl and plus or minus on the keyboard, and it will extend the look of the video itself. So you've now got a bigger area to look at the actual videos. So we'll do the same for the audio as well. We'll click this and we'll drag it down. And for the audio, you can then see the audio just a little bit better. For the video, it simply just makes it so you can see like these lines up here and the beginning frame. Let's go back to where we were. We select pen tool again by pressing P on the keyboard. You then have a little plus next to your pen when you highlight this line. This line being the opacity, so at the moment the opacity is at 100. As we go over the line, it should say. There we go. So 100 opacity, what you can do is press on your mouse, and that will add one keyframe. You can then go over here, press again, it will add another keyframe. You can add another one there, and you can do as many as you like. If you don't see, there's a line right here, and we also have it on the audio as well. So this will be for the sound of the audio. We're going to add a couple keyframes there as well. If you don't see any of these lines, come over here to this little spanner tool, which is the timeline display setting. You go over to show video keyframe, which is right there, or you can also go to show audio keyframe. Either one of those two, or both of them being selected, will mean you can then see this line right here. So once you've got these selected, you can then drag them down to however you want. I've just created another keyframe by doing that. You can then select this keyframe, drag it down, say, and obviously this is the opacity. So what you've got is the opacity going from 0 to 100 between that point and that point. And it will do it gradually. And then what we're going to do is bring this one down, go back up, and then bring this one way down. So then what you've got in terms of opacity looks a bit like this. So then you see opacity going down, then going back up, then straight down. So that's basically what the pen tool does. We're going to get rid of these keyframes up on here. We'll add them again to our audio. So I'm not going to show you the example because the audio is pretty simple, but basically you can bring it up, bring it down, or whatever. The middle being like the standard audio that you recorded. And what it will do at this point is quite loud. We'll bring it down to there as an example. I've got it muted over here so it won't sound at the audio, but it will just slowly fade in and come back up and go back down. And it makes for some good transitions for audio fade if that's what you're going for. So in my version of Premiere Pro, I do also have two extra tools which are very simple. They're both basically the same. If we come in the pen tool itself with the rectangle tool and the ellipse tool, we'll select the rectangle tool as an example. It's simply just for a shape. You draw a rectangle and then you have the shape over here on the left hand side. And then you could press the fill, so you could unfill. The stroke can be selected. To shadow, we can unselect. Then with the stroke, we can change the color. Go to red as an example. And then we can change the position, the scale, everything to do with it. But obviously I don't want that shape, so I'm going to press the shape right there and delete it. And the exact same thing for the ellipse tool. We got a little circle there. And you can mess around with all these different settings right here. But as an example, I was just showing you that that's what those tools do. So we'll go to shape 2 and we'll delete that one. Next up is going to be the hand tool. If we come over here, press the hand tool or H on the keyboard, and the only thing really that I know the hand tool does is if you're on the timeline, you can click and drag and it will go to anywhere in your timeline. It basically does the exact same as the slider down here. It's not really a tool I'm ever really going to use, but it is there at your disposal if you prefer to do that. And the reason I'm never really going to use this hand tool is because you can use minus or plus on your keyboard to come out or go in. So plus being zooming in and minus being zooming out. So rather than being really zoomed in, trying to use the hand tool to go along to your next edit, I prefer to simply zoom out, go to where I need to and zoom in. Or what you can also do is press the slash button on your keyboard and it will show you your entire edit. So again, if we, as an example, zoom right in, press the slash button, it will show you your entire edit, your entire timeline. And then from there, you can press Alt on the keyboard, then use the wheel on your mouse, if you do have a wheel on your mouse, to zoom in. Use the wheel to zoom in, zoom out, and that's again a very quick way to zoom in and out, rather than say using this, although this again, I prefer using over the hand tool. But again, the hand tool is there at your disposal. One other thing that the hand tool does do, in defense to the hand tool, is if we go over here and make the screen like 400, really pixelated, we'll change it to 200 actually. If we make this screen and we for any reason want to zoom in, you can use the hand tool to click and drag, and you can find anything that you want in the frame just by clicking and dragging. That is another feature of the hand tool. Again, you do have the slider at the bottom there and at the side, but if you want to just quickly come down, the hand tool can be useful for that. So we're going to go fit again. And that's the hand tool. Next up, we have inside the hand tool section, the zoom tool. Now this is just a magnifying glass, and what this does is zooms in on your project. So if you want to zoom in on a particular clip, you can zoom and it will zoom until it reaches its max point. And what you can do then is press Alt and then it will have a minus in the sign, you can zoom out. Again, because of the other shortcuts that we have, so as an example, Alt and use the wheel on the mouse, you can zoom in a lot quicker in my opinion. You can use the slash on the keyboard, again to show your entire project. I again will have no need really to ever use this magnifying glass or the zoom tool, but again it's always there at your advantage or at your disposal if you need to. And the final one on this list is going to be the type tool. Now I think most people know already what this does, but if you've gone to type tool as an example, we'll press that. We can then go on the screen, we can make a little box, and then we can type, like, I don't know, anything. My name is an example. Come over here, we can align it, center, whatever. We're going to highlight the name, we're going to go over the fill, we can change the color. Pretty standard stuff. I think most people can figure this out. It's all about just making a text basically, drawing the box, changing the color, whatever. We're going to get rid of that. You can do the exact same in almost any sort of Adobe product or even Paint. It's the same tool and it also has the same symbol. We're then going to go show you the vertical type tool. So again, this is the same thing. We're going to show you an example right here. So, I don't know, let's Premiere. And then it just types your words down rather than across. And then again, you can do the exact same thing. You can center it, you can change the color if you want, the stroke, etc. Make it nice. You can also, do what you want with that really. You can also though go to the top, go to graphics, new layer and text. This will do the exact same thing. Obviously the text tool is there again for you. So it's T on the keyboard. I don't think the vertical type tool actually has a shortcut that I know of anyway. Simple stuff for that last tool anyway. It doesn't really need explaining, to be honest. So there are a couple of shortcuts on the keyboard I want to quickly show you guys while I've got this video up as well. So if we go over to this clip over here as an example, and rather than getting the B tool, which is the ripple edit tool, and then doing that, and even though that's pretty simple, rather than doing that, what you can do is press Q on the keyboard, and pressing Q will mean that everything from where your blue pointer is, where your blue marker, I'm not quite sure what this is called, but where your blue marker is, to the cut previous on the left hand side, by pressing Q, it will automatically cut and ripple it to that point. So then you don't need to press B and ripple it to that point. That was Q on the keyboard. Now if you press W, it will do the same thing but on the other side. So as you can see here, all of this is going to be cut away up until this cut right there. There you go. Press W, does that. Pretty simple, and it's a quick way for you to do that. One last thing I want to show you is E on the keyboard. So if you press E at the moment, nothing will happen, but what you need to do is have a particular tool selected. So as an example, I'm going to press there, then I'll press E, and it will do the thing that it wants to do. We go here, press E, again, it does what you want to do. And basically what you have to do is select where you want it to go and select which tool you want to use it with. So for an example, we're going to go over here and select the rolling edit tool. If you click just there and then you press E, it will then roll edit over there. And if you remember, rolling edit will just change the in point and out point of those two clips. So if we use it manually, as you can see, it will just change those clips. But by pressing E on the keyboard, it will go right back to your line. It will snap to where you want it to go. And then to my knowledge, E works with those two tools only. I don't think it works with any of the other tools just because of the way the tools are used. I don't think you can use like that tool as an example and press E because it just won't work. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, and that is every single tool in Premiere Pro explained as well as I can explain it. If any of you are confused with anything, please let me know. I can make a completely separate video on a particular tool if you want a little bit more explanation on it, or a different example on different clips and maybe like more of a busier timeline or something. I can show you that. But if you let me know down in the comments below, and then I can see what I can do for you. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you did learn something new in it. If you did, go ahead, leave a like rating on the video, subscribe to this channel for more tutorials on Adobe products. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.